Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master this evening, this morning, this afternoon, wherever this finds you, whenever this finds you. Today, we are carrying on with our ongoing quarantine campaign, playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, playing through the 2013 adventure, Legacy of the Crystal Shard. Now, we are also, at this point in the campaign, drawing on material from Wizards of the Coast's new, or at the time of recording, new Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden. So if you intend on playing Rime of the Frost Maiden at some point, this will contain spoilers, or will likely contain spoilers from that campaign. So if you do want to go into that campaign fresh, I would come back to this session at another time. If you don't care about the Icewind Dale, or you don't care about Rime of the Frost Maiden, or if you're intending on running Rime of the Frost Maiden, well then welcome. Let me introduce you to our Quarantine Crusaders. I'll go the order I've got the guys on the screen here. Tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently. First up, we have Dave, our resident armorsmith.
Hey everybody, I'm Dave. I've got to mute my computer here so I don't make some background noise. And I am playing Lex Wiltshire, 6th level half-elven ranger of Myliki. I should probably also get my character sheet up.
Next up is John.
Hey everyone, I'm John. I'm playing Falkrel Hawkfriend. He is also a half-elven ranger, not of Myliki. He is also a specialty priest of Solinar, and he is level 6 in both classes.
Wow, pretty nice. Next up is Mo.
Hi, I'm Morris. I'm playing Thomas Branner, a 7th level fighter, who has a new friend.
Nice. Yes, he does.
We'll be interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah, and last but certainly not least is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen. I am playing Gorwyn, who is a 5th level elven fighter, but that's just for now. I'm thinking about suiciding and becoming a Goliath, so, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
That's right, the guys have unlocked the Goliath player character race, which you can find on the Dungeon Musings Patreon. Actually, I posted it there as well.
You can only do that if you go down in glorious battle with the vampire.
Yeah, I didn't mean like, you know, suicide as in kill myself. I meant suicide as in, is there a term for
Arlen, I don't think you need to explain to regular viewers your relationship with characters and the disposable nature of them.
Disposable nature. Well, it's not just my relationship. There's a bit of DM Kevin's relationship to my characters in there too.
So, in our Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea campaign, Arlen is currently on character 3 in that campaign. So it's a miracle.
Nobody else is on character 2. Everybody's still kicking it, barely. But
I think it means because your characters are at the vanguard of any kind of fracas. So. At least that was the case with Yason.
Yeah, Arter was an archer. He stayed back until he shot Gwen, and yeah, that was. And
the writing was on the wall. All right. So
I could just shoot. I could just shoot Gorwyn, and then we call it even if you want.
So, guys, last session was a pretty interesting one. You guys made new friends. You lost some friends. What happened last time, guys?
And vampires.
Or was not present, so I cannot.
No, it'd be Dave or Mo filling in.
So, last session we were traveling back, trying to find a way to ford the river. We're heading back to the first Goliaths location called Sky Tower Shelter.
Yep.
And while we were still on the east side of the river, we were waylaid by a pack of gnolls and a gnoll vampire. And the gnolls didn't rush in. They were peppering us with arrows, most of which were hitting Longclaw and Osen. But Longclaw doesn't have any resistance to weapons, so he was taking a pile of damage. And then the vampire, the Howling Hunger, decided to, well, it had tried to charm Lex,
Yep.
My character, whoever he is, and I made the save, but then we didn't take it down, and it charmed Tom. Made Tom think that it's his new best friend, and convinced Tom first to try and kill Longclaw, and then they decided to run off together while we were still fighting the gnolls, and we had to like chase them down and tackle Tom, and Tom seems to be okay, but is still convinced that this vampire is his friend. And so Longclaw is gone. Tom's kind of in a weird headspace, kind of like Cole used to be, and a little different. And here we are, forded the river and trying to make our way up to Sky Tower Shelter. Convince the first Goliath group to meet in the windy area to reconcile with what's Wormdoom Crag?
Yeah, Wormdoom Crag. So I was trying to find a font that actually looks, legible on it, but it's very tricky.
Well, I'm just also really zoomed out, so the text is like microscopic.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're trying to reunite the Goliath tribes so that we can ultimately to get an alliance or allies to fight against the White Witch, but we'll see how this goes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We might just go face her with a bunch of level 1 Goliaths. Who knows?
That'll turn out well.
Oh, there we go, guys. How's that look?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah.
Nice. Give me a sec. I'll just quickly do that on the other one, too. Just as a delicate procedure.
I've also zoomed in so I can actually read the text.
Will be good. Like, as we're filling out stuff on the map, it will be helpful to for you guys to actually be able to read the stuff. Okay, let's see here. And all right, so there we go, guys. Alrighty, I suppose the next thing we need to do. Do you remember whether we left with you guys making camp, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the weather was.
I can hear the wind, though. I mean, I'm kind of prone to put that on anyway. So I remember
I wasn't even here, but I could make a guess what the weather's like.
It's super windy.
Well,
I found it. It was 97 on wind.
Right, that's right. You guys made. That's where we left you guys. Was there was another howling windstorm? So, all right. So then morning comes. Oh, let's a couple of things. Let's check. Dave, you check weather. I'll check for random encounters. John, you can cross off the rations for the day.
Can do.
Only 5, I guess, today.
And with that, the wind dies out.
Yeah, there is snowfall today, though. But it's fog. So once again, like, just the weather is all over the place, and you guys find that there is heavy, thick fog early in the morning, ice fog. So I mean, like, no highway travel, guys. This is gonna be very dangerous.
I'll leave my SUV in the garage then.
Put the ice chain down.
That's ice chains. I don't know anyone who's done that since the 70s. You tear the shit out of the roads. Oh, God. Okay, so then, guys. I'm going to check and see what the day is like for random encounters. Okay. So that's, I mean, that was a pretty brutal day yesterday. With Falcarol and Gorwyn, I mean, you coming to terms with the loss of Longclaw, and then this now, beguilement of Tom. Tom, are we correct? The way we were talking about it at the end of last session was that you were kind of like going on like, I don't understand why we're going to meet these Goliaths. Like,
Oh yeah, he definitely thinks we should be going and meeting our new friend who can help us. I mean, he's not going to disagree with the group, but he still does mention it quite a few times.
Yeah. Okay. So then, I need to check one more thing. This is based on the random encounter I rolled. Just need to check one thing here. Does anyone wish to hunt this morning?
We have enough.
What do our rations look like?
We currently have 36 iron rations and 31 and a half fresh rations. So we're good on rations.
What's the firewood looking like? Is it much worse?
6 days. Might want to look for some firewood. That's
Yeah.
probably more pressing.
So remember that you can look for firewood while you're traveling, or you can spend the what do you call it? You can risk a random encounter if you push beyond. If you just want to spend an hour wandering around trying to find stuff.
Yeah, we can look as we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stupid vampires.
Everybody's got water.
Well, yeah, as long as we have snow and fire, we have water.
Okay. So the the morning comes. The weather, with the wind dying down, it's a little better. The fog's not going to make it pleasant for traveling on the mountain, or getting to the mountain, I should say. But at least it's not snowing. Why don't you give us a firewood roll there? Whoever's rolling for that.
We'll do that. Well, yeah.
Okay. Yes, you do. You managed to find some stuff that maybe some of that some moss or something like that. That I gotta get a post or take everything from the post. But there was one of our viewers helpfully posted a bunch of really interesting stuff about Arctic survival. But what you would actually use for it, so that's super cool. And 7 is a terrific roll, so great.
So one day of firewood?
No. Let's give you 1d4.
Okay. Under massive reindeer droppings.
Yeah. It could have been in the cave. Maybe it's in the same cave that you guys were in. You just happened to come across it. So then you guys pack up, and I think the plan was to head directly north, right? And then let's see how far you can.
Let's see. Where's my
It's only about
spot
a
here?
mile then, isn't it? To
Yeah, it's only about a mile, so you start heading up. So just the passage up to Sky Tower Shelter is pretty exhausting. Although you don't have the issue with the snow coming down now. Well, the ice fog will make it treacherous on any of the exposed rock.
I'm thinking after our encounter with the vampire and the gnolls, I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace to start the day with. So that'll give us about an hour's worth of.
So we keep
not
saying
leaving a trail.
vampire. I know that the illustration says vampire, but remember, if you think of it as a vampire and only a vampire, you may misunderstand what its actual capabilities are. It is a spirit of hunger.
Oh. Do I know what that is?
No.
Okay.
The one.
I think didn't Oston tell us about the local sort of folklore about this area and the spirit of hunger?
You did, but
in
again,
the valley.
yep.
Yeah, so we'd know what Oston knows about it. It's not.
Well, what you know thus far is what you know about it, but you don't know other stuff. Like, if you assume that it's going to have the capabilities and whatnot and the vulnerabilities of vampires, you may lead to... This is what the two undead hunters could be telling you. That you could make an error, so let's make sure we're
Yeah,
not.
so Lex, I was busy working on my Goliath language skills when Austin was talking. So why don't you fill me in on whatever he said, because I have forgotten. You know how it is, just right in one ear and out the other for us
Absolutely.
academics.
Guys, what have you learned about the spirit of hunger thus far?
trying to remember.
Well, this is the I can't remember the name of the valley. This particular valley is
Sounds
known
like
to be.
he's super friendly. He's really nice. He's got a nice home.
Well,
Invited
presumably,
Tom
I just
back
think
for
he's a
night-
friend. I haven't maybe made the connection that the spirit of hunger is my new friend, and I'm probably sort of, even if I do subconsciously know it, I'm probably suppressing that because my new friend can't be bad, of course.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Why would he be?
Was it the shivering? No, I think I'm confusing that with another game.
I don't actually remember what Austin told us. Something about the valley.
Yeah, he knows that the valley was haunted by a spirit of hunger, but he doesn't really know. This thing has been there for as long as or as long as the Ragged Tribesmen, or he feels it's been as long as the Ragged Tribesmen have been here. That's as long as he's known it as the what was it, the Cackling Valley or the Cackling Canyon. The spirit, they know that one of the things that limits it is that it apparently cannot cross moving water. So, with the location being what it is here, it does afford. Let me move you guys here. It makes it challenging for that thing to go outside of its the immediate vicinity here. And they know that it can. It can have a beguiling or an enthralling effect on the mind, and a persisting one as well. So, yeah. What else do you know? Oh, that certain lunar metals may have an effect on the creature as well.
Yeah, he mentioned maybe silver might work.
Yeah. But he's not sure. No one's faced this thing. It is a relatively recent... it's only recently that the thing has been active again. But it was sufficient deterrent to... the threat of it was a sufficient deterrent to... Basically, the Ragged never travel here, which allows the Goliaths to sort of keep... to enjoy their existence in complete peace.
Okay. Well, seems like the ice fog's probably not optimal conditions for the possibility of being hunted by some weird spirit, but what you gonna do about that? I guess we're gonna press on.
Yeah. Okay. So it is about... you guys pack up and you head out into this... I guess I can turn the wind off and crank up the creepy music.
Does anyone need healing before we move?
Yeah, also, I think Falcon and Lex, you might have healed overnight.
Up to Kev, I wasn't here last session, so...
Well, I think we left it just as we were settling in for the night, weren't we, I think?
Yes. So you would get the benefit of the sleep.
Okay, so then my healing proficiency would kick in.
It would, yeah. Do you have herbalism?
I do not, no.
So 2. Yeah, so you guys heal 2 hit points. Ocean would heal that as well.
Oh, hang on, do I have...
Okay. So with the morning, you guys head out, and the ice fog forms a crusty layer on top of the snow of ice. Any bare surface that you step on is going to be slippery, and it's going to sound that like muffled, loud kind of way that it can when you're completely encircled with fog. What you find is even in your marching order, the person at the front of your line is even that close, beginning to be swallowed by the fog ahead of them. But fortunately, you can still hear the regular crunch, crunch, crunch of you guys making your way along and through the fog. Dave? Can you still hear us? Okay, it's just 'cause,
Quick question.
of course,
I think he's just stepped away from.
Did the Yeti tyke make it?
yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeti Take is still going along with you. So, what, Lex, you were the one who was on point, and as your needing more tea. Yeah, no, I understand that feeling. You are on point when and you're carrying, walking along. You know that the looming form of like a shadow up to your left is the current finger of the world, or the spine of the world mountains. Yeah. And what you see emerge from the mist, or the fog, I should say, ahead of you, Lex, and it's a form at first you see up to your left, like a little further up on the higher part of the ground. And for whatever reason, you're drawn a little bit further towards it, and what you can see is, or what comes into form, is a beautiful, full-grown, brown-furred wolf on its own, sitting and looking at you. And what you notice is that there is a the muzzle is a little more a little lighter than what the rest of the dark body is. But the thing that really stands out is the brilliant blue eyes of this thing, and right on its forehead there is a single white patch, and the white patch seems to almost go to a point.
What color were the eyes of the druid in Sky Tower Shelter?
I think they're brown or like amber or something.
Okay, so I'm not guessing this is the druid in some kind of animal form. This
Definitely.
is another creature, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Lex will go to one knee, put his hand out for the wolf, come forward.
Okay. So you guys, I think who would be, I'm picturing Falcor's probably back. You probably have the rangers at each thing. So, who do you think would be next? Would it be Gorwin or Tom or Ostin?
Probably Tom.
Yeah, we've got 3 fairly good archers and 2 melee combatants. So archer, melee archer, melee archer.
Okay.
Well, it depends who we want to be the sort of trailing, rear guard. I was wondering whether.
We don't want Tom in the back, trailing off, turning around and deciding to head back to visit his friend.
Oh, right, yeah. So presumably,
Yeah.
Tom's in front of everybody except Lex.
Yeah, I think Ostin and Falcro will take up the rear, I think.
Mm.
Well, Ostin also moves very quick, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Also, don't remember we still have the silvered longswords.
Yes.
So as I know there's this bad thing that's affected by silver, I'll make sure I have the other longsword on my back, as it were.
You suspect.
Yeah.
You suspect it's affected by silver.
Well, we've had experience with undead affected by silver, so makes sense.
would you deliberately?
And I'm assuming
build a
Tom
weapon
just
that can
isn't
hurt
making the
that?
connection here, so he's.
Tom may be downplaying it as well, too, intentionally.
Silver's bad.
Silver will never work against this thing. So what you find? One second, sorry guys. My audio is still a bit of a. With the new computer, it's a working, still a moving target for it, and I keep peaking I know I was last night's session, the very start of it, I was getting a lot of weird peaks, so trying to correct for that. For those listening at home, my apologies. All right, so what you do, Lex, is you take your knee, and Tom, you see this happening as well. And in a first sort of excited, seeing the form in the fog, your first thing is thinking like he's back. But then what you see is, oh no, it's not him. It's something else. And Lex, this thing gingerly sort of hops down from the perch that it was on. It walks up towards you. And this thing's quite big. It's with you crouched down, it's going to be the arc of its back is going to be close to the where your head is right now. So It brings itself in. It keeps its eyes on you the entire time. Walks right up.
I'll slowly reach for some food while it's on its way.
Okay. When it sees you moving your hand back, it sort of slows its approach, and its head kind of cocks to the side, its ears up. And as soon as it sees you retrieve food, it continues slowly forward, takes the food from your hand, and then sort of comes in and nuzzles up against you, and then looks back.
And give it a little scratch behind the ears.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Falcarel, you are, this is about when you reach up with everyone else. You've got training in religion, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah. So, why don't you give us a religion check, please?
Can do.
See how you do.
Oh, just barely failed it.
Okay.
Sounds like a crucial point of the story here, John. Come on.
I mean, we do have 1 hour remaining. If you want to spend astonishing fortune.
Yeah, sure, why not? Just, yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Seems important that the leading cleric would know a little bit about something, right?
Yeah, well, and I mean, the way I'm seeing Astonishing Fortune, too, is not just for, like, getting successes and trying to get, your critical hits you get. It's also, like, when the dice betray the way the character should be, like, we've seen the character. Like, last night with Beargore failing the con check.
Yeah, that was...
It seemed very out of character for him, so, that's where it helps us correct the vagaries of the... I mean, sometimes that unexpected, like, wow, you thing can be kind of fun, but so Falcarel, what seeing this thing and knowing what Lex's faith is, because I think as he bends down, the symbol of the unicorn comes a little out from his neck, and you can't help but see the tuft or the discoloration on this thing's forehead. Looks an awful lot, if you were to interpret liberally, it looks an awful lot like a horn.
So I look at Lex and then at the wolf, and does Lex have a suspicion on his face that there's anything but just a wolf?
Well, I think Lex's first thought, because he wasn't looking for signs of anything, his first thought was, Longclaw's gone, and maybe another spirit animal has come our way to help. And wolves don't usually, sometimes they're brown, but they're usually more gray, brown, especially more gray during the wintertime anyways.
Yeah. Well, in so the type, who's got animal lore? Is it both the Rangers or either of you guys?
I also have animal lore.
Okay. So the thing that you'd find, that this, for one thing, this species of wolf, it's not found in the Icewind Dale. This is not something that would be here naturally. It traveling on its own, it would be very, very, very rare. It would be a result of a tragedy of some kind that a wolf would find itself on its own, and it's unlikely that they would ever behave this way. So there's a lot of things that seem unnatural about this.
So Falcarel will he'll approach, but stay about 3 steps back from Lex, and kind of kneel down and put a hand on Lex's shoulder and say, "I don't mean to make portents or seem auspicious, but we've got a wolf that's not native to these lands with what looks like your god's symbol on its forehead."
Lex takes another look.
and it doesn't take its eyes off of Lex.
Well, then we must accept the gifts we're given. And he throws another piece of meat at the wolf and starts walking.
Snaps it, and it turns and starts walking beside you in pace.
You see Falkrol head back to the line, just kind of like a half-knowing grin on his face, and then just eyes turning up to the fog towards the sky, and then he just follows again.
Okay. Ostin, I think, would probably... I don't think he says anything, but I think he may, have... And it's tough to read the face of a bear, right? Like the facial expression of the bear. But I think he sort of watches you as you walk by Falcor, and if you make eye contact with him, he kind of... you see a puff of stuff coming out of his nose, condensation. Condensation. And...
Falcor he'll respond as we walk the path we're led down, Ostin.
It appears that there are many principalities with a stake in this conflict. A boon to us, no doubt, but the more warriors who take a field, the more devastation wrought by their conflict.
Agreed.
If we have allies joining with our struggle, you should pray the witch finds no other allies herself. And he turns and starts lumbering to catch up with Gorwin, I guess, who'd be next in line. So, apart from that, guys, you guys, oh man.
It's like we gotta stop inviting animals to battle unless we can find a way to protect them.
Yep.
Bear.
Life is short. So, fortunately, guys, no.
Fortunately, DM Kev has an unlimited supply of animals.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Well, eventually we'll get, an enchanted squirrel or something, and we'll be able to keep that safe because it's small enough. But until then...
my buddy Jared from Gnome Stew, he was posting about Ratatasks yesterday, so they're like divine trickster squirrels from D&D, so there you go. I now have my, I'll be able to make use of my Ratatasks. Okay, so let me zoom in a scooch here, guys, and we'll... take a look at your progress. Okay, so by about midday, you guys reach the foot of the mountains leading up to Sky Tower Shelter. So, let's see here. What I think we'll do is... you guys have gone the way... the one time, so I think we're going to roll for not getting lost, but trying to find it again. Just because you're going to want to try and either stumble across with the fog as well, too, although I suppose the mountains would bring you out of the fog at some point. And that would be an amazing visual as well, too, of you guys looking out and seeing, like, just a layer of white underneath you.
So, like, direct sense.
I'm wondering if Havoc or AKA Alsol might be able to help us get up there, because he can fly above the fog and circle and then kind of indicate where to go.
What tricks has he been trained for so far?
He knows distraction, hand signals, loyalty, and track.
So I don't think he could show the way, Lassie style.
Well, track. He can track a creature, return, and retrace its path, is what it says. But
right,
this won't apply to locate the building or the path up there.
That's a very different thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's not the same thing as just tracking something.
Ooh, look at that.
Holy hell. Crit on Lex. That's amazing. So Lex knows, precisely where to go. You know the exact direction. So, nothing but doom metal album cover vibes. Thanks, Hack. That's awesome. All right. So, guys, it is a tough slog making your way up the mountain. Let's have everybody give us a con check just to see how it was. But then we will be moving over to...
Can't wait till my con damage is gone.
Yeah. There we go.
I'd like my 15 con back, please.
Ooh, made it this time.
And what about
Nice.
Austin? Austin has a 16 con.
Okay, Tom. Cola's not here. Austin's here. Lex is here. Gorwin's here. Who am I
That's
missing?
everyone. That's everyone.
That's everybody.
Oh, Falcarol.
Falco's at the top.
Yeah.
The...
Rolled a 9, less than 11.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm looking at tokens. Talking about two different things.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
We thought you were looking at dice rolls.
Okay, hold on here. See if I left Falcarol somewhere. Oop, wrong thing. Okay, great. So everyone did okay?
Looks like we all passed, yes.
Awesome. So it's, I guess in comparison to your first day of travel here, where you were going through the, what do you call it, through the snow. Yeah, that heavy snow. This is just a piece of cake.
Well, Austin seemed to struggle a bit, but he still made it.
How did Austin do?
Rolled the lowest he could and still passed.
Oh, great.
Probably the ice fog is making it crusty, so the snowshoes really hold up, and you're not sinking as much. But Austin's weight is probably, just overcoming
we
that.
all
Yeah.
we all bought like climbing gear and stuff, so we can probably, if we get to rough patches. But Austin, obviously, his great big bare hands can't wear climbing gloves and boots. So
One, it's like you say it with the extra crust on the layer of the snow. It's forcing your way through all of that, as you're lumbering along. But you guys managed to reach that same peak, and then the ridge line that goes between one of the like false summits and Sky Tower Shelter, and that's when you first see them. The screeches and the beating of the wings of the griffin going overhead. And fortunately, there is, none of them attack or anything like that, but you guys find yourself approaching the entrance to Sky Tower Shelter. As you do, there are a number of and let's just, for those, has everyone been to Sky Tower Shelter before? I think so. Just, okay, so then I think what you see again, where is it here? I think it's such a cool and evocative illustration, is that Griffin trainer. So Goliaths have opaque white eyes. All right. So as you guys walk up, you can see that a number of Goliath warriors take their place on the entrance to the thing, and Chief Rockfist steps out among them as well too, the tallest of all the Goliaths within. And he looks at you guys, and you returned, and down a bear I see.
Yes, we we were waylaid by gnolls and some ravenous spirit of hunger, apparently. And unfortunately, Longclaw did not make the journey back.
You can see that at the mention of the hunger, or the spirit of hunger, a number of the Goliaths start kind of like muttering to each other about this, and the look on Chieftain Rockfist's face gets a little more. He's not the most cheery of fellows at the best of times, but gets a little more concerned. What do you mean? What?
Spirit of hunger? You've not heard of the spirit of hunger, or?
What do you mean that? And you then hear a woman's voice from behind, and it's Kaniaka, the older. Where is she here?
The druidess?
Yeah. And she says, "Please, chieftain, clearly they've traveled far. Allow them to come in, take their place by the fire, and they can tell us." And he looks at them and he says, "The spirit of hunger is not welcome in our domain. Sky Tower Shelter is no home for such things."
We fought the spirit of hunger. We didn't bring it with us. Although one of our friends here may be
Kaniaka
afflicted.
says, please come in. We will explain." So you guys can go ahead and head in to Sky Tower Shelter and into the common room where you guys once were before. If it's easier, I can move you guys in.
You might want to. So the line of sight is not actually blocking movement right now. If you are,
Oh, isn't it? Okay, hold up.
yeah, we can go into the walls and stuff.
Oh, yeah, this is, well, once again, it's, money well spent on Roll20's thing. Okay. How about now? Are you able to go in now or not?
Can go in, but it doesn't auto update.
Okay. Hold up. So let's see here. Dynamic lighting is on. This is the. Oh, that's really frustrating. You can't actually set. There's not a setting on their new dynamic lighting setting.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Should be.
I agree. It should be. Let's see here. I wonder if I'm. Yeah. Wow, that's really shitty.
Well, I'm not going to go through the walls, so there.
How about now, guys? Try moving it now.
I just lost sight of everything.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So let's just for now. There we go.
Just nobody put yourself inside a wall.
Yeah. Boy, is that fucking stupid. Wow. Why push through and... Ugh. That's really, really infuriating. All right. So you guys will have to be cautious for this. And I'm glad that you mentioned that so we can be mindful of that.
Well, if you have it update on drop instead of update on carry for the token, I don't know what the settings are called, but then we can't accidentally see through the walls by moving too close.
Well, and that wasn't that setting. I've turned that on now. That wasn't on before though, on default.
Yeah.
So,
well, I noticed I could go through the sort of palisade barricade that they had up top, which was why I mentioned it. It seems like that's not a very useful palisade barricade if you can just walk through it.
Guys, it's an illusion.
Knew it.
Are you on the page detail settings, Kev?
Yeah. Yeah, there's the page settings under the new dynamic lighting. there's not an option. Like I think at one point when they were doing the new dynamic lighting, there was a separate subsection that would allow you to add a bunch of extra shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it's even under the new. Well, whatever. This is we're already having a short session as is. No need for me to waste more of your time on this. But in any event, that's irritating. So you guys are brought in to the thing, and you can see there is that same. There's a fire burning there. It's going to be going out a chimney that was carved, long ago. And Kaniaka, once you sit down and she gestures, and some people bring some food to you. The chieftain takes a seat in the room as well too, and many more of the. You're seeing many more of the clan members are coming in to listen to what's going on as well. And Kaniaka says, I am sorry for your loss. The spirit of Longclaw was strong. And you can see that there's that crag cat that was kind of lurking in that side room there. Oh, it's under page settings, not under dynamic lighting. Okay, thanks, guys. Let's see here. Yes, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, James. That's a huge help. Yeah, so it is. So for those listening at home, under the page details, you can set up movement so that dynamic lighting barriers restrict movement. I mean, I'm glad it's there. Why on earth isn't that under the dynamic lighting tab if it deals with dynamic lighting? Wow, sheepers. UI designed by dropping a bunch of labels on the floor and then separating them into different categories. Good lord. But thank you, James. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, so can you guys move through the walls now, or are you trapped?
Let's see.
Cannot move. That's as close as I can get to the wall.
I cannot.
Now, my master plan, come to fruition. I mean, I'm sure you guys are going to be fine.
Kev forcing us to do the one step through the dungeon at the time.
So good. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then, the crag cat that you saw, you maybe noticed before, it comes and seems to listen in as well too. At the mention of Longclaw being gone, so Kaniaka says, you mention that Longclaw fell to a spirit. Can you tell us more about this spirit you see?
It looked like a ravenous gnoll covered in blood, and it attempted to control my thoughts and make me its friend. And he looks over at Tom. It succeeded on one of our party members.
There's muttering through all of the clan. And the chieftain, you can see, is snarling. And, oh yeah, absolutely, Tom. You're there. This is happening in front of everybody. This is the Charivari. It's the public shaming. She raises a hand to kind of bring the chattering of the crowd to a low din. And she says, the spirit you mention, the spirit you faced, we know it as Tekeli, an ancient spirit of hunger, long ago sealed in ice and trapped. These spirits are pernicious, and their old stories say that it once hunted free in these lands. And though its offspring have lurked in that chasm, in that valley for long, it has remained trapped.
It had under its lead, I suppose you could call it, influence perhaps, pack of gnolls, and the gnolls rained arrows down upon us. And unfortunately, Longclaw, valiant as he was, took many a gnoll arrow. Took several gnolls down before he fell, but alas, fell on the field, riddled with arrows and wounds.
She leans forward and closer to the fire, and I'm picturing you being a kind of across the fire. So there's a bit of a, like, underlighting kind of effect that seems to underscore the importance of what she's about to ask you. And she says, Longclaw did not fall to Kelly Lee.
Longclaw did not.
And she looks around, and then in particular looks at Rockfist. And she says, that is good. His spirit was noble and deserves rest.
What happens to those spirits that fall to Kelly Lee?
Those that fall to Kelly Lee, it is said by the old stories, are forced into his eternal pack.
Well, we're glad that didn't happen.
Did you see any others? Any spawn?
We took down all but 3 or 4 of the gnolls, and Kelly Lee fled, trying to lure Tom away, but we were able to catch up and wrestle Tom to the ground while Kelly Lee fled, and then brought Tom back with us, hoping that we can break the charm or whatever it is that's...
She gets up and walks over to where you're sitting. You're probably on a stump of wood or something like that, or a stool, a makeshift thing. And she leans in and looks down, and those white eyes are looking down at you, and she says, "May I?"
Yeah. Yes, certainly.
So she brings her hands in, and she speaks a couple of words, and then she brings her hands out, and there's, from seemingly nowhere, there's like a small spattering of light drifting snow that sort of goes around his face, and she brings her hands down and takes Tom's face in her hands. She closes her eyes, and the whole collected group seems to be wrapped with, or their attention is wrapped on what's happening. And then she staggers back, and she looks over at the chieftain. Chieftain, you can see, has got his spear gripped quite firmly. And she turns once again to you, Lex, and says, "His mind. The spirit lurks in his mind."
Tom, on hearing that, said, "Well, yes, that's what my new friend we found was telling me here. He wanted me to go with me so he could help me and us."
The whole crowd is going and chattering about this. And that's when the Chief Rockfist stands up and says, "He cannot stay. Haunted by the beast he is." And the crowd seems to be sort of going in that, or leaning in that direction. Kaniaka says, Wait. He's a small one. Do we fear a small one? Such as this? The small folk? The concern is the spirit. He cannot." And Chief Rockfist interrupts and says, "He could welcome it in. He could be the way the spirit reaches all of us and slays us all."
You're scared of the spirit?
And he turns, he says, yes, and you should be as well.
Too bad. I was hoping maybe we could head out as a group and destroy it.
And sort of like, blah, 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 blah. And he points his spear at Tom. With that one with you, that one will throw you to serve his master. Offer you.
Well, no. My friend is going to help us find the spirit. Tom is completely sort of like...
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
He's got no idea. He's convinced that his friend isn't the spirit.
Yeah.
Even though he may subconsciously know it.
Oh, for sure.
Assuming the power sort of makes me think it isn't a bloody gnoll-like thing. It's a nice, friendly gnoll or something else.
Well, it's like, I mean, Ostin looks fearsome, but he's friendly. Like, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
Falkrel kind of speaks up and says, is this some kind of curse, you said?
Curse?
I'm not cursed. We need to find the monster. And he'll sort of stand up and say, we need to go out for an expedition.
One or two, with him standing up, one or two of the Goliath soldiers, or warriors, likewise lower their spears sort of in his, not quite towards him, but getting towards it, and it's only with Kanyaka putting her hand up of like, wait, you know.
Not now, Tom. We're going to rest for the night.
Yeah. Oh, yes, well, you'll say, yes, we could do with the rest.
And she looks at you, Falcarol. He is not cursed. Not... Curses are the most ancient and pernicious of magics. Things that work with the fundamentals of that make up the gods and all things. This is not that. The spirit of hunger is a hunter and a trickster. And it is, as such a thing, it is outside of the community. A spirit of hunger infests the mind, turning those who would be adversaries into prey or confederates. The ancient tales say that the spirit, or such spirits, are not welcome. The gods and the laws of the fundament prevent them from joining communities on which they would prey, unless they are invited in. And they know many ways to trick themselves, trick their ways in here.
Can they be destroyed?
And she says, the ancient tales say that the spirit was sealed in ice, in a tomb, in a valley, an ancient and cursed place itself. If the ancients knew of a way to destroy it, I would think they would have done such a thing.
They were strong enough.
Is it possible, perhaps, to weaken or even banish the spirit such that it could be dealt with for a time, even if not permanently?
It is said that such things can be. And I think that the two undead-focused things, like you guys would know, there are similar horrors in the southern lands as well, too. And if it's something like that, it may be quite persistent it may survive. It may be very, very difficult to utterly destroy it for good. That usually involves, for things that are this powerful, it usually it requires some kind of knowledge. You need to know what what will cause this thing. It's not like a ghost where there's, or an unquiet spirit, like, incorporeal spirit, where it needs to satisfy something. This is a different type of thing, and it's lingering around, and continuing to bedevil the living, because it's got some connection, and it's not a connect. It's more a physical connection as opposed to the emotional or the spiritual connection that the incorporeal spirits have. If you can find that physical thing and destroy that, then maybe it could be destroyed permanently. It could very well be that sealing this thing away was the easiest of the available options, or at least the best of the available options. They may not have been able to figure out how to permanently destroy it. So, if your question is whether there is a way to destroy this thing, absent the gods, no thing is eternal. And even the gods themselves in this world are not eternal. The spirits, the land, that's eternal. There must be a way to shatter this thing, to drive it into the void. Just don't know how. Now, Kaniaka says there is a possibility, and she says to Chieftain Rockfist, this small one here, and she gestures to Tom, he is not of the community. None of these call Sky Tower Shelter their home. They have not the power to break the walls of this community and allow this spirit in.
We don't have the authority to invite it.
Indeed, we are but guests here.
Indeed. So the threat that this one represents is only a physical one, and we can restrain him. But if this spirit walks... Wait. Why did you return here? You were... And the chieftain sort of looks and says, you were tasked to see to the... to those of Wormdoom Crag. The Tunglakalaga. You've spent all this time wandering the wastes and facing the spirits of hunger?
No. We've been to Wormdoom Crag. We've spoken to their leader. We've learned their side of the tale.
Their side? I gave these small ones a simple task. Bring me the cloak and of Ogilai. And what do they bring back? One less of their number, and bedeviled by a spirit that has not troubled our tribe in living memory. And he looks at Kaniaka. These are harbingers of doom. And there's kind of like some agreement within the tribe of that. Kaniaka says, shakes her head. She says, I do not see things such a way, chieftain. The spirits would show me if these were the bringers of doom. And though I see the shadow of doom falling upon Sky Tower Shelter, they stand apart from that. If any of you guys want to jump in with anything, please feel free.
Well, Falcor will kind of clear his throat a little bit and says, if there's there's any doom that falls upon this land, he looks at Kola, who's not there but is in story, and Lex, and then says, 3 of us carry the blessings of our gods, and we will cut a swath through it to keep the doom back if we can.
And yes, it's true you tasked us, and you make that sound like we can be commanded like one of your guardsmen. But we journeyed to Wormdoom Crag because we still think that the Goliaths united is stronger than the Goliaths apart, whether you agree or not. And we spoke to them to try and reunite the tribes so that, hey, maybe you could even play them again someday in the game of Goat Ball. Although they're not very good. We did beat them. But
there was a bit of murmuring amongst them.
But we don't think that they don't share the same animosity for your tribe that you seem to share for them. And I wonder why. Why is it that they're willing to meet and discuss preparations and truce?
Kaniaka steps forward and says, they're willing to meet.
Yes. Ogalai agreed. She understands that she still bears the scars of the incident with the griffin. And yet she's willing to meet and discuss, perhaps putting bygones in the past and moving forward as one, but she doubts that Chief Rockfist will let that happen.
There's sort of a murmuring in the crowd as well, too. And one of the people in the crowd shouts out does anyone speak Giant? I can't remember, actually.
I have modern languages, so I might be able to piece together a bit of what is being said.
Giants are one of the most ancient creatures.
Oh,
yeah, right. So it would less be modern languages. If it was ancient languages.
Although I have been trying to pick up all the Goliath words I can so far. So if it's something we've heard before, I might be able to recognize
Give me
it.
a intelligence check at -8. So -8 from your score. Let's just see. Maybe you pick up some. You guys are quite clever.
Or win Smarty Pants. Do it.
Not 20. He's going to attack! You do have...
I think that might be worth astonishing fortune reroll.
Yeah.
All right, let's try it. Why not?
Why not?
No.
Closer, much closer. Not a crit fail. So what? Someone shouts out something, and there's sort of like a murmuring, through the crowd as well too. And Kaniaka, seeming, seeing the confused faces or looks on the faces of our heroes, she says, "He is right. If the spirit of hunger haunts the land again, then the danger of going not only to those who would go to meet with those of Wormdoom Crag, they would be a danger to the community as well, the Sky Tower shelter. If the spirit has returned, and if, as you say, it has a diminished pack, it would be a danger to all if she was able to add the brave and strong members of our tribe, the Akhenathi, to its numbers.
The tribe talks of dangers and what sits here on its mountain. I starting to wonder whether or not we even need the Goliaths as allies. Like, look at this, guys. They don't even want to leave their mountain. They're scared of some some spirit that ran away from the 5 of us. If the 2 Goliath tribes together and us faced this spirit, not only could we defeat it, we'd probably defeat the White Witch.
Kaniaka stands up and translates what you said into Giant.
Lex is trying to check.
It's definitely got the crowd agitated. Like, it's once she hears it, like, and others are. So you can't speak Giant, or Jotun, but you definitely get the sense that some are in favor of, like, yeah, let's fucking get it, and some are like, what did he say? You know, so. And I think that Rockfist, you can see his face is just like, his forehead is a knot, like a single, knot, and he's clearly weighing over the words while wrestling with probably some pretty fierce anger at you for the insult.
I'm sure he's pissed right now.
Yeah, but he's not.
At the same time, if he wants to be a leader and he wants to be strong, he can't just sit here and act weak in front of all his Goliaths. So
yeah.
That's what Lex is kind of hoping for.
Yeah.
Falcor was somewhat impressed that Lex said that.
Okay. So the do any of you, the rest of you guys have anything you wish to add? While things are.
So
yeah, Tom's going to support them and say, really, well, yes, we need to deal with the spirit, and we've made a friend. Unfortunately, the spirit drove Longclaw mad, and unfortunately, he was raging, and unfortunately, the gnolls killed him before. Luckily, he actually attacked us. So,
Lex just shakes his head and. Thanks, Tom.
Ostin growls low, and actually, so does the crag cat. And she. The crag cat. If you look over it, it's got those same bluish eyes.
As Ostin
and as your newfound wolf companion.
So Gorwyn, if there's a sort of pause and it seems like they're sort of thinking and deciding maybe what's going to happen, Gorwyn will he takes off his helmet. You can see he's got a fairly nasty scar. Not gruesome, but certainly you would recognize his face if you saw him again with it, that runs from kind of just above his eyebrow and up into the hairline, and he's got kind of blondish hair, but all along the scar, all the hair that is coming out from the scar tissue is white. And so it's kind of a someone who is not he has kind of that classical life elven beauty in a lot of ways, but it's sort of a shocking defect. And he speaks up and says, we all know, both our group and your tribe, that a broken bone or a gaping wound needs time to heal, but that when it heals back stronger and tougher than it has before. And we know this from tough experience, and you all have clearly survived here, not out of any not unused to the perils of this world, but it is time to allow the scar to do its work. Even if we must remember the hurts that have been done by others, it is time for us to allow the healing process to make us stronger as Goliath and Goliath allies, and to take on the true threats like this spirit that we may now be strong enough to truly take on with our newfound scar tissue. And Gorwyn, I wasn't halting because I couldn't think of words so much as that's sort of how Gorwyn says it. Is that that's kind of what he speaks, is that he kind of pauses regularly to try to think through, be deliberate with his speech.
Kaniaka is translating what you're saying into Jotun as well too, and Is there a final expression in Jotun that you have learned that you would leave them with? Something to consider in their own tongue?
I think because I made friends with the Scald, so he probably taught me the word for friend, and I can say we are in common, we are, and then Jotun word for friend, and kind of gesture at my chest and out to them.
Yeah. So Kaniaka finishes translating, and there's clearly a lot of discussion going on in the tribe. And Rockfist, his eyes darting angrily. I mean, angrily is a really undercutting it furiously, like to Lex, and then over to Gorwin. Oh, I actually Lex, then to Tom, and then to Gorwin. And he stands up to his full, nearly 8 feet tall height and says, "What is it you propose, elf? You would have us all lead ourselves down? You say you face this spirit. I say one of them, it hunted you as it intended. Did you bloody it? Did you even face it?"
Did we? I don't remember actually if we actually hit it.
No.
No. It hid behind its minions and fled when we thinned their numbers.
What do you propose?
I don't propose you bring your entire tribe. I don't propose you fight to extinction. I propose you bring a handful of warriors, a half dozen.
And those of Wormdoom Crag? They would prey on us when we are weakened?
No, because they're bringing a half dozen to meet, to parley. And at that parley, I hope you at least put your differences aside temporarily to fight to hunt and destroy or weaken the spirit. And then afterwards, be open-minded enough to at least try to reunite your clans.
How would we hunt this spirit in this winter? And Kaniaka leans, says, the old tales tell of its lair, of where it was sealed. It would not leave there. And you see, Rockfist is getting...
Like a bear.
He sort of, chews his lip and snarls a bit. Those of you, though you are hunters, Lex and Falcro, you sort of know prey that has been trapped. And it appears that you guys have fenced Rockfist in. And feeling like a prey trapped, he says, I make no promises for the future. But the Akhenathi are not cowards. And if this spirit comes to haunt our lands and bedevil the folk, we will be the ones to take this down. And those of the Tunglaka Laga, they can prove themselves by standing with us. Many will die to this thing.
Then we set off, and like a bear, we'll track this creature to its lair and do our work.
And he looks and says,
And Lex
which of
looks
you
over
will
to
fly? We will send a messenger. Faster than you can. We will reach the Tunglaka Laga, and you can tell them of the plan. Which of you?
Gorwin, can you scribe a message, or can she send a?
He shakes. He says, "No.
Yeah, they don't really.
We will not send words. Words. If you seek to heal this wound, these words must be spoken. We will take you on the wings of our true allies.
Well, out of character, I won't be here for tomorrow's session, so Falcarol will volunteer to take the message.
Okay. So then, Falcor will get the first one to get a ride on a griffin.
Yeah, and he's bringing the Yeti type with him if they'll allow it.
They will absolutely not allow it.
Oh, darn.
No. So, with that, there's some other plans and stuff that you guys are going to have to do. And we can talk about that at the start of next session. But what we'll end with is at the end of all of this, we see Chieftain Rockfist, we see Kaniaka, we see some of you guys all planning, for what you're going to be doing. And one thing you may notice in this, or you may have noticed before from this map, is that there are many different ways to sort of to look out from this particular cave. And what we'd see, our closing shot is the side of this mountain. We'd follow along through the caverns, passing sleeping Goliaths. We'd see others making preparation to go on a hunt for an ancient spirit. And we'd lead outside, swirling snows and winds, and see Tom standing there. His eyes closed, facing to the east. And when we get close enough and can hear over the sounds of the swirling winds, we can hear Tom saying, "Yes. Yes, Master." And that is where we will end things. So, for those listening at home, I apologize for the short session today, guys. I unfortunately did not set my alarm, so I slept too fucking late. So I apologize, but we were so keen on getting. I mean, the guys were so keen on getting a session in that we scrambled and got things together. So I apologize for the short session. But hopefully, the developments within will make up for it, and that means that tomorrow's session can officially be session 50 of this campaign. So,
nice.
What better way to kick off session 50 than going hunting for an immortal spirit of hunger? I love it. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. In addition, you can find a link in the description of this video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to this campaign, every other campaign we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great topics like finding a group, or signing up with for for online conventions or other conventions, setting up your virtual tabletops, pictures of our pets, lots of great stuff, and our burgeoning Warcraft channel as well too, which is really just like three of us talking about Warcraft. Tons of great people, tons of great conversation, and you are more than welcome to join us over there. In addition, if you don't want to miss any future sessions and you haven't done thus far, consider clicking on subscribe and hit the bell icon for being notified when we go live. You can also find the schedule every Sunday night. I post that to the community tab of the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel on the Dungeon Musings Discord server and on Twitter. And you can find me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and you can reach me by email at dungeonmusings@gmail.com. Last thing I will say is a huge thank you to my very, very patient friends and players. So, Dave, John, Mo, and Arlen, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so sorry for making you guys wait for the start, but it was a pretty fun session anyway. So, great, and excellent role-playing by everybody as well, too. That's fucking great stuff, guys. XP, you guys have 2 points of Astonishing Fortune left over, and
It's like 5 each.
Yeah, so it's 5. Let's roll it into the next session, because I don't think the amount you guys are going to get from this is going to be really consequential. So Anyway, for those listening at home, if you are joining us during the current crisis, the reason that we set up this quarantine campaign in the first place, we do hope that this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. Like the folk in the Icewind Dale, we are coming up on a cold winter, so we hope that we've given you a few hours of time to turn your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes keep getting themselves into. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.